Alright, hello everybody and welcome to my onboard flying lap of Feldbergring. We are of course in the SimLegends series for SimRaceSA for the 2022.1 season, and we are of course in the Maserati 250F V12, and at Feldbergring we currently are actually in a race, but this was my quickest lap ever. So off we go, flying across the line, braking just before the 200 as you cross the start finish line. Get the car turned in nice and early on the power, get that back end stepping out so you can start accelerating out in the correct direction, then braking early for this corner down to third gear, really push the car's limits, throw it through this section and on the power as early as we possibly can to get the maximum acceleration down the downhill on the brakes just before that little kink there into first, kicking the car out and accelerating as gently as we can, as straight as we can on these cobbles. The cobbles of course wanting to throw the car off all over the place. Just clipping the inside there definitely cost me a couple of tenths, but anyway, left turn in fourth gear. I find sticking in fourth gear gives me slightly better traction even with lower revs, and then nice and tight through that right-hander to get into third and make this corner as straight on the exit as possible. Just managing the oversteer through that right-hander there, and down into second gear we go, keeping the car nice and tight on the exit to give us the best possible entry, and then for exit to the left-hander as possible up this hill. What you really want is the best acceleration you can possibly get, and that's exactly what we got on this lap. Right, we have a little left-hander which is a blind rise, but that's okay. Flat over that into third gear, putting the car sideways and then accelerating out early to make sure that we're on the right-hand side of the track so we can get the best possible entrance and exit for that left-hander, as this little section is flat out into fourth gear past the 150, braking at around the 75 into second gear, really attacking this this corner entry as much as possible because the straight following it is so short. It's definitely the best way forward, and keeping the car nice and tight through that little right-hand left-hand section into third gear, into fourth gear now, up and over this hill. We're going to be looking for as late a braking point as we possibly can get, just braking before the 100 there, keeping the car nice and tight to those barriers, down into second for this little hill section. Again, keeping the car nice and tight all the way through here, making the corners as short as possible, really managing the power delivery there on the exit, making sure you don't get too much sideways action, too much oversteer on exit, so you can get the best possible acceleration over this blind rise. Absolutely flat in fourth gear, a little bit of a confidence lift actually, same with up and over this crest, but don't gear down to third and fly through this little section here. Definitely the most difficult corner on the track in my view. Get this right and there's at least 2 seconds in it, and there we go. What a great little exit that turned out to be. Into fourth gear once again, managing the car, fourth gear early and managing the oversteer through that section. Into sticking in fourth actually turned out to be the best way to attack this section. Very uneven, very bumpy, so it's okay that you're not in the perfect rev range, and sticking in fourth is actually best to carry speed down this hill, and flinging the car through in third gear, really pushing that section. You can carry some serious speed if you're brave through there. Same here, just managing the throttle now, not using the brakes, just managing the throttle, managing the turn-in points, and then braking just before the 200, gearing down. You see how little braking I'm actually using just based on how much lock, how easily the wheels lock up, and in fact I did not do that corner particularly well. Definitely lost a couple of tenths there for sure. Wanted to keep the car much tighter than I actually did, but it doesn't affect our time too much. Into fifth gear we of course now on effectively what is a long straight, even though it has a few bends in it. This first little right-hander absolutely flat, no worries there. Second right-hander is all about setting up the left-hander following it, so we fling the car in here, just managing the power and making sure we don't get too sideways. We want to carry the speed, we want to carry as much speed as possible. This last chicane, fling it through, flat sticks, don't go onto the grass, and we're going to fly across the line for a 4-minute 27.293.